Will you agree my tier list of heroes in BT Battles 2? We'll find out, but we'll start off with the heroes I actually have because I only have, what is it, 8 of them maybe? Yeah, I have 8 heroes. Not as many as I would want, but I'm still working towards more of those, which you should check out on my channel. I did have a Join the Grind series, but now we're just trying to focus on certain towers. But it's still fun content. Okay, we'll start off with the OG, ranking from F to SS. With Quincy, I do not use Quincy too much, but I feel like Quincy is just, you know, an icon. So I think I'll have to put Quincy in S just because of that. Also, I will not be putting all of these heroes really high. I do dislike quite a few of these heroes, as you will soon find out. Alright, next is Gwendolyn. I literally never use Gwendolyn. I know Gwendolyn's meant to be good now, but I just don't use her. I just don't, because I hate going late game personally. I bet people in the comments will flame me for this, but I'll put Gwendolyn in D, to be honest. Um, Oban. I love Oban. Because I mean, there's only one strategy I ever use with Oban, which is, of course, Druid Subfarm. But I do like the strategy. So I think I'll put Oban in S tier up with Quincy. Etienne, I think, is my most used hero. Probably. Even though I just love Etienne. It's just so helpful. Because I like being able to greed early. And also, just the global camo is just incredibly helpful. Especially if you have a strategy that doesn't have the best camo defense, like one of my favorite strategies, Tac Sniper Farm or Dart Sniper Farm. So I think I'm gonna have to put Etienne in SS, our first top tier hero. Adora. This was a hero recommended for me to get by you guys. So if you want me to get any other heroes or work towards any other heroes, tell me in the comments. Adora. Again, Adora can sometimes be a late game oriented strategy, but I only really find myself using Adora on 2 maps, which is Building Site and Inflection. So, because of that, I'm gonna have to put Adora B tier. However, in Bonanza, you just have to go with her. Cyber Quincy, I think, is quite similar to Adora. I mainly use it on those 2 maps, especially Building Site, because it can see, you can, Cyber Quincy, you can see through obstacles. I mean, the only strategy I use with Cyber Quincy is often Boat, Wizard, Dart, which I quite like. I think I like it a bit more than Adora, to be honest. So I think I'll put Cyber Quincy in A tier. I wonder if you'll agree. Tell me down in the comments. And whilst you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a ton. And use code Albo in the store, which also helps me out a ton. Alright, Bonnie. I mean, contrary to what most people think about the tower, I don't really like the Dartling Gunner or really the Spike Factory too much, because I don't use them that much since I just recently got Bonnie. I feel like I will probably grow into Bonnie, but at the moment, Bonnie really isn't my favourite. So I think Bonnie will go in B tier. Yeah, I think that's just about right. It's because it's a new hero I need to adapt, you know? Alright, Jericho. I think yet another hero that you recommended me get. Uh, I love Jericho. However, all of the Jericho tack strategies don't really work that well anymore, ever since, like, the Blade Shooter, nerf, but then rebuff that didn't make it as powerful as it was before. That whole saga. Um, and because of that, I mean, Jericho isn't down in F tier, obviously. Not even B. I'd say A tier. I really need to start being meaner with some of these ratings. I might have to start moving these about. BTN. I do kind of want to get BTN eventually, but I don't really know too many strategies to play with BTN. And because I said I need to be more harsh, let's go for BTN in C tier. I might decide to move BTN up, considering ETN's up in SS. But with BTN, I don't know. Regenning lives just seems. I mean, especially when I play against BTN, because I can't play with it myself. It's just so annoying because all of the rushes that like only just kill your opponent are nowhere near to killing BTN users. Yeah. Okay, Striker Jones. A hero I've like never used even in all of the different events, which just shows that I don't really like Striker Jones. And because of that, this I think will be our first F tier. Yeah. I mean, same with Captain Churchill, to be honest. It's just ones that I wouldn't use. If I'd use any version of them, I'd use Biker Bones and Sentai Churchill, which we'll come up on later. But just with those two, I wouldn't use them. Okay, Benjamin. Benjamin is often used with Dart, and because of that, you can't really rush in the early game, similar to Bonnie. And I like rushing, as you've probably seen if you watch my content. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe and look at my channel to see more of those, and join my Discord server. Um, so yeah, I like being able to rush. Maybe you can rush sometimes, but Dartling is just quite an expensive tower to start off with. It's quite similar to the Ace. But yeah. I'd say Benjamin can go in C. So the lowest of the heroes that I actually have is Gwendolyn. Oh, that was not meant to happen. Whoopsie daisies. Yep, the lowest is Gwendolyn. Anyway, on to Azili. Azili is a late game hero, basically. I mean, some of her strategies can't go as late. Maybe like Wizard, Bomb, Farm, which is basically the only strategy I see people using with Azili. I don't really know. Does Azili buff the wizards? I actually don't know. But I think that I'll put Azili down in D tier. Pat Fusty. I kind of really want to unlock Pat Fusty. I really do. As my next hero. But it always depends on what you guys want to see and what strategies. But I think that I've played with it sometimes in special events. And I just really like Pat Fusty. Yeah, so I think I'll put you in A tier alongside Jericho and Cyber Quincy. Will anything be on the level of Etienne? I wonder. Scientist Gwen, yet another late game hero. I feel like not down in the level of like Gwendolyn and Azili, so I think I'll put it C tier. Yeah. C tier seems more fitting. Biker Bones. I know I said I'd use Biker Bones 9 times out of 10 over Striker Jones, but I still just don't use either of them, because if I did use Biker Bones, it would kind of be a norm for me to use Heli, like maybe Heli Ice Village, and I just don't like the Heli because it's really annoying to multitask, as I do play on mobile. So I can't control the heli, so I always have to put it on pursuit, which, as I've learnt, is not very good at all. So yeah. Because of that, Biker Bones also goes in C. Yeah, I think that's alright. Smudge Cat Zilly, kind of the same as the Zilly. D tier. Yeah, I just don't like late game. If you saw my rating every BTD Battles 2 tower video, you'd see that I put the village quite down there, super, and ice, because and glue. I just find late game takes way too long, and when you get to late game and you lose, it just feels so bad, because you've been playing for so long just to lose. Yeah. So, anyway. DJ Benjamin, same level as Benjamin. Oh, that did not mean to happen. Benjamin. Sentai Churchill is interesting because I never use them because they're just so expensive. And I know that First Blood never matters, and you shouldn't let it matter, but at the moment I am trying to save up all the money for every single tower 5th tier, and every single hero, which will take ages. And so getting First Blood is just so helpful, just a little bit of extra money. So, because of that, I think that Sentai Churchill will go in D tier. Yeah, I'll say that. Ocean Oban. I don't think that Ocean Oban can be on the level of Oban, but I do like Ocean Oban. Also, I kind of want to try out the sub strategy that Boltrick showed in one of his most recent videos because it does look very fun to play. So you can go up into A tier. Oops, sorry, it's going laggy. That's a bit off. Okay, Fate Weaver Adora. Fate Weaver Adora is quite different to Adora, because it's more like a choke rushing hero, especially with the level 7, I believe, which speeds up balloons around your opponent's hero. I've never actually played against Fate Weaver Adora or even used her, so I actually have no idea how good she is. Or they are, I don't know. So I'll put them in C tier. C tier is getting very full. I might need to move something up to C tier. What shall I move up? I say Scientist Gwendolyn. Even though I don't go late game, I do quite like the tack shooter. So, you know. Star Captain Jericho, the only problem I have with Star Captain is that I always get, if I ever do use it, I always get confused what balloons to send for the steal. I know you're meant to set like 2 sets of red balloons, but I can just never remember to do it. And I find that Jericho or Highwayman Jerichos are just way easier because it just takes the money without having to do anything extra. And for that precise reason, Star Captain, I mean, we'll even have to go down to D tier. Because it's hard to explain. I like being able to just use an ability and not have to do anything extra with it. Sorry about that. But yeah, so D tier. Highwayman Jericho, on the other hand, it just steals the money. It just takes it straight up and it can sell your opponent's towers, which I find really helpful, even though I've never used Highwayman Jericho, to be honest. But I've seen other people use it. It looks fun to use. I say B tier. Finally, Fusty the Snowman, I think, is their name. I did quite, at one point, like the look of, like, a Dartling Ice strategy, but not really anymore, as I just don't like the ice, personally. Sometimes I will use it, because it is quite good just to defend early game to get down your hero, but I don't know, I kind of just get confused by cross pass for some reason. And for that reason, I think Fusty the Snowman will go into C tier. If it'll load, there we are. So, here, I think is my completed tier list, yeah. My favourite hero is apparently ETN. I do just love ETN. S tier, Oban and Quincy. Just the OG and hero that I really like, the synergy of Druid with it, if that made sense. Ocean Oban, Jericho, Cyber Quincy, Pat Fusty. Quite like that. Hyman Jericho, Adora, Bonnie, Scientist Gwen. Okay, and Beta. C tier, Fate Weaver, Adora, Fusty the Snowman, BTN, Benjamin. Biker Bones, and Benjamin. D tier, Gwendolyn, Azili, Smudgecat Azili, Sentai Churchill, and Star Captain Jericho. Just 3 late game heroes, and then other ones that I just would never use because they're too costly or make me do something. How dare they make me do something? And then F tier, Striker Jones and Captain Churchill. I think it's just because they're latter halves, so Sentai Churchill and Biker Bones are just better than them. It seems that I kind of dislike the color green, or just like army green, maybe. Anyway, what do you rate this out of 10? Tell me down in the comments below and subscribe. Bye.